Hello, so this is an AR60 account showcase, and I have been playing since early October of 2020, so around day 10-ish, every day, and I have been F2P ever since. Although the shop reset, so there's no way to completely prove that I am F2P. Um, you're just gonna have to trust me on that, that I never spent a single cent. And as for the past events, you can see that I have the Festering Desire and past event weapons such as Dodoko. And yeah, so I've been here since patch 1.0 and playing every day since. Maybe I have missed like 1 or 2 days, but overall it's been pretty consistent. Oh yeah, and sometimes I ask for my friends to grind for me when I am on vacation, so there's that. So here's Sino. I don't really build my characters properly anymore. I used to, but I hate artifact farming, so I don't really do that anymore. Usually when I get a new character nowadays is I level them to 90, give them a weapon that other people, well, rather than give them a weapon, I steal a weapon from someone else and give it to them. And talents, yeah, here's Dendro Archon. She's really cute. I like her a lot. She's really strong too. I used to keep up with the meta a lot. Nowadays, I still do, but not as consistently anymore. I still do watch content creators like theory crafters such as 1010 and the others. Although these are far from their optimal builds, I just honestly don't care as much anymore. I still do really love the game though, which is why I play it every day. Oh, right, here is Sino's stat page. As you can see, my crit ratios aren't really that good, but it's workable. And as for my progress on the Abyss, I've actually been clearing the Abyss ever since patch 1.3 or 1.2, somewhere in the beginning of 2021. I've cleared it with 36 stars ever since. Earlier on in like the first year or so, I'd always like build my new characters properly, and every single new character I got was always like the decision maker whether I could clear that new 36 star abyss or not. And as for my decisions to which character I like to pull, it's simple. I only pull for 5-star male characters and archons. There have been a couple of exceptions, mistakes, such as Zhongli C1, which I never wanted, but since I was pulling on Yanfei for his second banner, yeah, and I missed Kazuha because of that. So that is one regret I will never ever be able to recover from in my Genshin Impact career. Yeah, as you can see, even though I have Kazuha now from his rerun, I didn't build him properly because I guess I don't really need him to run Abyss, so which is why I don't have the motivation to build these new characters anymore. And as for my Abyss team, I usually run Zhongli, Albedo, and then Barbara with Dragon Slayer, and then Xiao. And running Felonious Lance on Xiao means that I don't really need to run a battery on him. The teams I run are pretty off meta. Oh, Xiao's pretty built, by the way. It's the only character I kind of built. But this was before his artifact set came out, and I didn't farm the new set for him. So yeah. And second team, depending on whether it's a boss or AoE, I run my setup team. My setup team is basically the Shogun plus Venti plus Ayato and plus Bennett. So what I do is I put down my E as the Shogun, put down my Bennett ulti, and then ulti with Ayato, and then Venti ulti. So that gives like the quadratic scaling from Ayato ulti, which gathers everyone up and then nuke with the Raiden Shogun, while the Bennett ulti is still up and running. So yeah. And my favorite character is the Traveler. I don't really use him, but character-wise, he's my favorite. I do have all of his elements, talent levels leveled up to, I think, no, not triple 9, but his skill and his burst to 9. And yeah. And as for single target Abyss bosses, I usually run my Yoimiya team. My Yoimiya team consists of Yoimiya, Bennett, Xingqiu, and Fischl. So yeah. Nowadays I don't really have much trouble clearing Abyss anymore since my two teams are built solid. And yeah. Tartaglia I used to use a lot. I used to run him in like an off-meta international team of Tartaglia, Beidou, Bennett, and Xiangling. But nowadays I don't really use him. Got the Skyward Heart from Standard, by the way. I never pulled a single time on the weapon banner, and the only things I pull for are 5-star characters. I don't pull for constellations either because I pull for the characters themselves and not to get strong characters. So yeah. Speaking of Yoimiya though, after the mistake with Zhongli, which I pulled for Yanfei constellations for, and that caused me to miss Kazuha. And guess what? I didn't learn my lesson and still pulled on the Yoimiya banner for Sayu. Yoimiya at the time was a hard skip for me, but after that, she basically saved me from I forgot if it was the first or second Magu Kenki Abyss. I think it was the first. Don't quite remember. And, you know, I like her a lot now. Not just because I think her team is pretty nice. I mean, she's not the most meta character, but she's really cute. And she smiles a lot, so I really like her. I do run Yoimiya in my overworld team a lot nowadays, especially to do my weekly bosses. Oh yeah, and speaking of weekly bosses, I still do them every week, all of them. I've done that since week 1. Well, not week 1 maybe, since I haven't unlocked it at week 1, but still do them a lot. And yeah, makes me wonder if it is a waste of resin, but I still do it. You know, just for the billets. As for Sucrose, I know she's really strong, but I just never got around to building her properly. She's supposed to have the sacrificial fragments, but right now that's on Hazel. All of my characters pretty much share weapons and artifacts, since I don't really like farming artifacts, and I hoard all of my useless pieces and just never do anything with them. Here's Rosario. I used to run her on a freeze team back when 2.0 first came out, and the Abyss was really annoying because the Doshin, I forgot what they were called. They wouldn't, you cannot stagger them because their stagger value was so high. They nerfed it I think a few patches later, but back then it was really annoying. So I ran her along with Kaya, Tartaglia, and Xingqiu in a freeze team, and I just barely managed to clear that. Back then, my teams weren't as strong, my characters weren't as strong, so I'd try out a lot of different teams and see which one has the closest chance of winning the Abyss. It was like a really close call every single time back then. So yeah, fun times and a lot of frustration in the Abyss. Kaya still C2. I never bought a single character from the shop. I got them all from polls. But now I know never to pull for 4 stars. And only pull for 5 stars you like, because I don't want any more regrets. For Sarah, I actually got really lucky with her constellations. And when I pulled for the Raiden Shogun, I think I only pulled 70 times for the Shogun, and I got C5 on her. The last one I got a bit later from standard, so I was really lucky. I used to run Raiden on a hyper carry off meta team consisting of Sarah, the Shogun, Venti, and Mona. Mona would serve as my healer in the Wolf Doggo Corrosion Abyss. It was pretty annoying, but I managed to pull it off somehow through a lot of runs. And the wolves, in my opinion, are really annoying because once they hit you and you don't have a proper healer, your run is basically done for. Or you can heal back a bit, but you can't take too much damage from them. And Xingqiu... Oh yeah, speaking of Xingqiu, actually I stole... Since I use him a lot more than Tartaglia nowadays, I just stole his artifacts from Tartaglia, even though he does a normal attack. And his normal attack is level 1. So yeah, I don't really run proper teams, but it's fine. I can still clear the Abyss with 36. It's Barbara. I use her a lot in the Abyss. Ocean-hued clam. Wow, I didn't know her artifacts were so bad. And she C6. You know, the C6 sometimes saves you a run because even though you die, she can revive you, right? And it's really annoying, especially when you're on the second half, if you don't want to go back and redo the first half. So if you still have time and you're able to clear with 3 stars, I just let my Barbara revive them after the long death animation has passed. As for Toma, I think I pulled 69 times for him when he first came out, and it was really risky because I was nearing my 5-star pity. And guess what? I didn't get him. And I was really sad because I farmed for him. Yeah, I pre-farmed for him, but I didn't get him. And nowadays, I don't really use him anymore. Oh yeah, speaking of Toma, before he came out, I actually got this spear for him. Just, I mean, I knew that he was a shielder, and I knew that he wouldn't really need it. I still got it for him, just cause why not? And nowadays, you can actually run him in the Bloom team, and I actually have a use for this spear now. But I don't really play Bloom teams since I'm all washed up. Bennett. He doesn't have the best artifacts, but it's enough. I do have a 5-star weapon on him that I got from standard, so his base attack is decently okay. And when it comes to that weapon, this one, versus Aquila Favonian, I do like the Skyward Blade more, even though it gives you less attack. Gives you a lot of energy recharge, which I really like. Xiangling, she doesn't have her optimal artifact set, but she does have a set that gives her a lot of stats. And she's decently okay when I ran her in my off-international team. Mona, I do have all of the standard 5 stars. Well, actually I used to. After Tignari came out, I didn't pull for him, despite him being a 5-star male character, because MiHoYo said that he was going on standard. So I skipped him. I think him, Yoimiya, Zhongli, Kazuha are the only exceptions to my Archon male character rule. And she is 199. D-Luke, I used to main, but nowadays he just sits on the bench. Yeah. A lot of these artifacts that they used to have, I just stole them from other characters. Oh, by the way, I have C4 Jean. A tragedy, if I must say, because I lost a lot of pities to her. But, you know, I don't blame Jean for that. I can only blame my own luck. I have TT as well, C0, luckily. Artifacts, Ocean-hued clam. So yeah, I've been blabbing on and on about random things. TC's not very built. I'd ideally want... I guess you don't really need her to have high energy recharge depending on what team you're running her in. But I don't really use her. Kating... Okay, Kating, I almost pulled for her on her banner. Like, her banner back in 1.3, was it? I forgot. I almost pulled for her. Because I played her on my friend's account, and she was really fun. But I managed to and my pity was really, really close, and I wanted to pull. But I managed to resist the urge, which was luckily the right decision. In my opinion, looking back on hindsight. So yeah, here's Beidou. I stole all of her pieces, but actually, this is kind of what she had. She used to have more recharge though. Back when I was playing her in the Abyss. So yeah. Collet. You know, when I first saw Collet, in game, I was so surprised. Well, actually not in game, when MiHoYo drip marketed her, because she looks so different from the manga. Like, don't you think? I mean, I first encountered her from the manga, so it was a bit of a shock for me. And here's Aloy. I don't really use her. No, I watched playthroughs of Horizon Zero Dawn, but never got around to playing that game. It does look really fun though, and the story seems interesting. Noelle, I don't really use. Ningguang. Back when the Geo team was first released, I had planned to use Ningguang with the prototype Amber to serve as my healer. But turns out I actually got C4 Goro, so I don't really need her to do that anymore. Sayu. Ever since Sayu came out, I have been really, really, really short on Anemo shards. And nowadays I'm also short on Dendro shards. And that is very sad because my Hazel is still at 68 out of 70. Oh, 68 to 70. My bad. Sacrificial Greatsword. I ran him once, back in, I think, 1.4? 1.5? Or was it 1.3? Back when the Heralds came out, and I ran him in the OG, quote-unquote, OG national team. And he played his part, he did pretty good. And after that, I didn't really use him much anymore. Razor, I never really played Razor. I have a friend who used to main Razor back when Genshin was still really in its baby stages. Lisa, I don't really use. She has her off random pieces that nobody uses. C1. Okay, Yanfei. I'm gonna mention again, I still regret pulling for her constellations and getting C1 Zhongli. I never want constellations for 5 stars when I could get an entirely new character for that constellation that I got. So yeah. Xian, I don't really use either. I think she's cool. I think the fan art with her hair down is even cooler. But I think her current hairstyle is also really cool. Yeah, GC3. Amber. I don't really use her either. Hazel. Actually, okay. You know, I haven't completely learned my lesson, but I actually pulled 40 times for Hazel, and I got him. It was scary. It was really scary, because it was on a 5-star banner that I didn't want. And he's not built. So yeah, those are my roster. Nowadays, I have this friendship team that I run around in the overworld doing. And as for my stuff, I have a lot of weapons. Well, not too much, but some. Usually I keep a copy of max refinement of one weapon, and then a second copy at R1 until that first weapon is R5. Just in case, you know, someone else needs the same weapon and I don't have another one. And artifacts, I don't like farming for artifacts, so I don't farm for them. Oh yeah, and I have a lot of boss drops since I've done them for a really long time. I used to be really try-hard. I used to collect a lot of overworld items. I used to mine these ores every day. I used to do a lot of things. But nowadays I'm all washed up and I don't really do any of them. So as you can see, all the Sumeru stuff I don't have much of compared to maybe, let's say, what? Specialties or Mondstadt. So yeah. Yeah, I remember fishing for the catch. It was really, really annoying. And I have some relics from past events. 3 Sealy events that I did. Rodea event. This event was really good because you can spend, theoretically, an unlimited amount of resin to constantly refresh and get double EXP books. So the EXP books I got from that event lasted me quite a while. I think 5 patches maybe? Yeah. And I would cook. I would unlock recipes and cook them until I get the auto cook button. And quest items. Oh yeah. Speaking of which, in terms of Genshin birthdays, among my friend group, I do have the earliest birthday, which is the October 28th. So I actually got the new cake for this year, and this year it's Inazuma themed. Looks really tasty. I went to a cake shop and asked them, you know, is it possible to make this cake in this design and for me, and they were like, no, sorry, we don't make this type of design. I'm like, okay, oh well. My teapot. Oh yeah, speaking of Stardust, I actually did some calculations, and if you are F2P, you do gain a net average. You do on average gain the Stardust over time if you spent your primos on only wishes, only character wishes. I don't know if weapon wishes give you any of this dust. So yeah, I do buy these wishes every single month, and I've never missed a month, because once in a while I do get characters I want, whom I want to pull for. And that is all for this. Because I'm really short on shards. I've never bought a single one of these, because I'm afraid that what if I don't pull for like 5 patches? Then I wouldn't be able to get these fates anymore, right? And yeah. As for my wish history, on standard, I did mistakenly, back when I first started this game, pull on the standard banner with my primos. If you're F2P, I do not recommend you to do that. Yeah, I think the latest 5-star I got was Skyward Pride, which I don't use. It's level 60. Naida I pulled and got her, I think, 35 wishes. I think Tartaglia I got at not Hard Pity. I think it was 81st wish, and I calculated the percentages. Okay, on the day he was released, I really, really wanted him. And since I already had the guaranteed pity, I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna get him. So I actually calculated it, and the chances of you getting a 5-star character at 81st pull is I think 2%. And on top of that, I had Hard Pity, right? And I had I think 150 pulls at the time, and I didn't get him. So it was a 1% chance I wouldn't get him on that day, and I was really, really sad about that. But it's okay. Water under the bridge. Luck fails you sometimes and gives you something really nice in return other times. My friend calls it law of conservation of luck, and I find that really funny, even though it doesn't make logical sense. Luck is not conserved. And so yeah, taking a look at my achievements. I used to grind these, get every single achievement that I had that was released in the new patch. Nowadays, I don't really do that anymore. I'm all washed up. My quest and my quest menu used to be like completely empty, but now it's filled up with quests that I haven't done. Story quests, I used to do them all. So as you can see, the new characters I didn't really do. I'm getting kind of lazy for this too. And yeah. So that's pretty much it for my account review. Can't really remember what else I have to share. Mondstadt's pretty much maxed, so is Liyue. Inazuma's maxed. Sumeru's not maxed at all. 33%. That is sad. Oh, actually, I haven't maxed the chasm. Since patch 2.4, I guess is the part where it all went downhill. And yeah. What else do I need to show? Oh yeah, Battle Chronicles. Right. So, I've been active for quite a number of days. And there's nothing much more to say, really. If you want to visit my page, it's my account name. You can visit me if you want. If you put this number over at the top, you'll get to my page. And yeah. Oh right, Abyss. These are past events. Right, Abyss. miHoYo doesn't really record Abyss history from that far back, but for the recent Abysses, I do have them all completed at 36. Nope. Challenge summary. There it is. All 36. Yeah, nowadays I just run Barbara and Xiao, Zhongli, Shogun. It's been like that since quite a while. Oh, there's a reverse melt team that I ran occasionally. And yeah. And that's about it for the showcase. Thank you for watching, I guess? I mean, who's gonna watch this channel? Okay, see ya.